Hello and welcome to another session of Tech Talk. The boys are back. It is Friday and we're excited to discuss another topic. Mikey, what do you got?
Another topic. So I've actually been asking for a little while to revisit surface polishing. I know we've discussed it in the past. I know we've talked about steps and procedures. Josh is absolutely right behind me on this one.
Behind Mike.
White with one thing. I wanted to particularly bring it up again because, I mean, it is a topic we talk about with people and it does come up. Put it in the category of, yes, mate, we're discussing this again, but you know how to do a surface polish. We've done them before. Yeah, but I haven't done one for a couple of months. So I just want to have a run through and a refresh. But also something that's been coming up as well is not only doing your 200 and your 400 aquas as your bit of a rule of thumb, but also is there an opportunity to do some grouting? If the concrete that's been placed for you, does have some pinholing or a little bit of grouting would help some cracks or pinholing or things like that. When does the opportunity arise? When can we fit in some grouting? Whether it be going to be an extensive opportunity to grout or even just an opportunity to try and get a little bit of grout into the scenarios. Josh, you and I discussed it a bit. I don't know if you want to
handball it to Milan.
Right. that way.
Oh, very, very interesting topic, grouting, surface polish.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, what are we actually selling? What are we delivering? Surface polish. If we're trying to promise a perfect surface polish, I don't think it's achievable to get if the surface isn't put down by a concreter to A class, and there's imperfections, little divots, things like that. It's unrealistic to tell the customer that we're gonna completely get this floor tight and we're gonna remove those blemishes, because that's not what a surface polish is.
No, I mean, I suppose when we were talking to Craig the other week about setting expectations for customers and things like that, I mean, again, we say it all the time, and I guess there is the fact that you're gonna look like the superhero if you go the extra step to be able to do that. And I guess when you see those issues, and especially if the customer's pointing them out, maybe just give it a bit of we'll see what we can do. And when you come back and it does look a lot better or even completely rectified, again, it's just superhero status and wait until I tell all my friends.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just something like that. And that's why I said before, how much of a grout you're going to be able to achieve, I guess.
Okay. When it comes to achieving that superhero status, I just want to make one point clear. I can't think of a superhero that's got money. Is there one?
Grout man.
I think I would rather be the villain. They always got money. So if I was the villain rocking up to one of these jobs, like Milan said, now we're trying to achieve something that's a little bit different. The concrete has been placed and it's probably not up to spec for a surface polish, but we still want to give them something.
How old are you? How old are you? It's a very serious topic.
What did I say? What did I do? It's pretty funny.
So what you're saying, Josh, is don't grout surface polish. Is that what you're telling me?
No,
you told me in the past that we can try and do
I just want to be absolutely clear about our starting point here. And it's about, being clear about our expectations, where we're starting, where we're going to go.
You're right.
Must be Friday, huh?
Well, they already had a few.
I will say we usually have a beer up. It's not great cocaine.
That glass.
Ooh. High proof stuff.
So when it comes to, it sounds like we've inherited a concrete slab that's not quite our preferred starting point, and it sounds like it's going to need a little bit of extra help to get it across the line. If it needs grouting, it's probably talking more a surface polish, maybe some.
Yeah, he's got the TV giggles.
I'm going to have to remove Daniel, I think.
Oh, sorry. I think it's all out. Okay.
What are you even laughing at?
I think you're funny. All right, so we've inherited a slab that's not quite up to where we want it to be. It's not a black burnt floor.
Oh, I'm getting hungry.
Isn't that reason?
Absolutely.
Hey, I'll let you guys continue, okay? I'll come back.
Where are you going? He's got to go and get
That's
it all.
what Daniel thinks about surface polishing.
Yeah.
So
We've just literally laughed Daniel out of the room. And then we're three.
Who needs Daniel anyway? Right, Daniel?
I don't know, he's always good for a laugh.
All right, so we've inherited a concrete slab that's not quite up to specification for a surface polish. We're probably going to be looking more like something, what's that other finish called? Full exposed aggregate. No, we don't want to end up there. So we're pretty clear about that. The client still wants us to make their dreams come true. And so we're going to do the minimum that we can to the surface to try and keep it at the upper level. So I'm picturing a slab that's slightly a little bit furry. Still, it's not absolutely closed up and dense. So, and possibly has a few hairline cracks in it.
So when you say furry, there's a little bit of texture. It's not perfectly smooth on the power dry. Okay.
Yeah. So my recommendation would be to start with a 100 grit Aqua Zero in that scenario, and wet the slab as if we were doing a grout, and then mix up a 50-50 mix of grout and water, or grout and densifier. A little bit harder to work with, however. But start with the grout and water and spray that down, a much more diluted mix, and grout with your Aqua Zero 100s as if you were doing a GRT grout. Right? It's actually going to be a little bit slower. You've got to be careful with how much grout that you put down. We're not filling much at all compared to when we're doing a exposed aggregate, so we don't need as much grout. Hence, we've also gone to the extra trouble of diluting it. Aqua Zeros don't love working this process. Typically these tools need to be flushed with water to keep them working. So we've got to be really just working our way into it. If you have a dual drive machine, slow down the head speed so it's not returning back into the grout as frequently. It's giving a bit more time to clean on the concrete.
Needed in.
Yeah, just work your way in slowly until you get your balance, and that's going to allow you to stay at a really surface level. If you're running a 680, run 4 or 5 Aqua Zeros, 820, 830, that size machine. Just get as many of the tools under there as you can, and to reduce the amount of down pressure that you've got. That'll give you a bit more extended working time, so that you don't expose in the aggregate while you're trying to chew up some grout off the floor. And that'll actually set you up with a pretty nice smooth finish. It'll fill in some of the hairline cracks. If the cracks are a little bit bigger than that, then I recommend broadcasting in a bit of cementitious repair and just working that in with the machine so that you don't get any stain marks on the floor. And after that, it's pretty much standard process. Densify that.
So with the process, obviously it's a lot different to grouting with GRTs. Is it realistic to expect them to perform just as well and fill everything? Or is this it's going to improve it? What is our expectation? What are we looking for?
I think it was just a real added bonus that just might give you that next level. I don't think promises can be made.
Oh, definitely don't make any promises ever.
About anything.
That's right. Don't make any promises about Daniel returning to the room. Oh, here he is. He's got in all his laughs out. This is your seat now. This is my chair.
I know.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. Sorry.
It was a pretty funny tech talk.
I know.
Absolutely. So that was real valuable information. I'll never forget that, what you just said then. It was fantastic. Welcome back then. But no, it is good. And that's the other thing too, it's like continue on with the process. So this is an additional step in the process.
And don't think that because you're dropping down to 100 Aqua Zero that it's going to be really, really harsh. particularly if you've used the 200s before and seen how much material that they can remove. We're comparing Aqua Zeros running wet versus running dry. So they are completely different beasts when run dry than run wet, and the 100 Aqua Zeros are not going to do anywhere near as much damage to the floor dry 100 versus as a 200 wet. You okay, mate?
Cool.
Yeah, no, this surface polishing is it's a funny subject.
I was going to say it's quite a funny subject.
Pretty hard for Daniel to get through a whole surface polish tech talk without breaking into a bit of laughter.
Crying enough tears to wet enough Aqua Zeros. 100 meters.
Yeah, so that's 50-50 ground, 50 tears.
Exactly. Yeah, I actually been crying this whole time, but no,
I've done a big job to do.
yeah.
They're happy to, I'll say.
But I'm still waiting for someone to come up with a dry system for surface polishing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Geez, that's cat amongst the pigeons
Wow.
there.
I know.
I'm waiting for someone to come up with a dry system for installing concrete.
I agree, man. I agree. That's good.
All right, well, we'll discuss that topic next time for a 4-hour-long session of Tech Talk.
I've done my aqua grouts. What's my next steps? Where do I go? Just continue with the 200 wets? Or is that going to pull out the grout? Am I ready to densify and proceed onto the dry steps?
You are ready to densify and proceed onto the dry steps, and you're going to have to make an executive decision here whether you're going to be using potassium or lithium. My expectation is if that floor required grouting, it's probably not a super dense surface, so we can probably it could probably do with an extra lift and take that potassium in there, at least for the initial installation, and then after that you may consider lithium. But that's a case.
I was going to say, you're not pigeonholing one or the other. You can use one, then proceed to use lithium if you wanted to. Right?
Yeah.
So,
And definitely don't use specialties for surface polish. Not the right tool. Because
no.
I had that recently, actually. Someone called and said, "Oh, Dan, we've done the surface polish. Look at these big gouge marks. There's something wrong with this tool." Man, it's the wrong tool.
Did they think it was an aqua, or they just trying?
They just thought it's a polishing pad. It's a 50. I'll just transition with that.
Yeah, right.
Like when it was not the right tool, and the impact did the job. So,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Cheers, gents. Getting a bit thirsty. So it might be time for a beverage.
Beverage and all that.
Absolutely.
I think that's right.
Right.
All right,
Have a
gents.
fantastic weekend.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
guys.
And don't forget to laugh. It's always important. Be happy and laugh.
That's right.
And if you can't laugh, cry. No, can't cry. No, whatever Daniel did, do it all.
Yeah, exactly right.
And it's got to be in you. You can't always be serious,
Can you please be serious?
You're being serious about being funny. I love it. Every aspect.
Exactly.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Again.
Yeah.